And they just literally clamped down on it. Now, why do we do this, we human beings? Well, that's in the Bible too. It's throughout the prophets. St. Paul mentions it too, but it's in the prophets. And it's called the 3 levels of evil: the world, the flesh, and the devil. Now, the world is a system. We all live in a system, and it's really difficult to critique the system when it serves you. I mean, the system is serving us at the moment in that we've got a weekend off because it's a bank holiday, and we can come here. The system has paid us some wages so we can buy ourselves some food and have some fun. We can wear nice clothes. We're going to get medical help if we're in trouble. So in that respect, the system helps us. But the system also basically says what you may believe and what you may do and what is right and what is wrong. So the system is both good and evil. The NHS is good. The way the NHS is run nowadays is possibly evil. Can you see what I mean? It's always just the two together. The second level of evil comes out of that first level, which is the system, and the second level is the sins of the person, the individual person. So it's what you do to buck the system is a sin of the flesh. So, and there are some terrible sins of the flesh like rape or murder. Burglary is not a good thing to do. But the sins of the flesh are generally built on the system itself. They're not regarded as sins unless the system has a law against it. If there isn't a law against it, it's not a sin. But these are the very, very easy ones for religious folks to get down and dirty on. This is what the MAGA Christians and Project 25 are doing. They're basically saying, you can't do that because it's against my system. You can't have an abortion because abortions are wrong. There is nothing in the Bible about abortion being wrong. Abortion is not good. Abortion actually is a way of cutting back a form of creativity, and there is an after effect. There is a reckoning. I know that. I had an abortion when I was young, very young. And there is a kind of a reckoning because you created something and then stopped it. But that's the only thing to say against it. Sometimes abortion is necessary, especially if you're a 10-year-old who's been raped by his stepfather. But there's nothing in the Bible against that. And in fact, the Jewish faith says that the mental health of the mother is far more important than the mental health of the baby. So if a prospective mother is in terrible trouble, then the women in Judaism would give her herbs, flowers, chrysanthemum and mistletoe, but don't tell anyone I told you that, and don't try it at home. And there would be an emetic which would purge the child out. The women took care of nearly all the medical issues in those days. In fact, in the Talmud, it's quite clear that the carpenter in a village was the second most important person next to the rabbi. Did you know that? And the reason the carpenter was so important was he was also the surgeon. He had all the equipment if it was necessary to do an amputation, or if somebody had a broken leg or a broken arm, he would be able to set them. And the wife of the carpenter was nearly always the village herbalist. So Jesus' mother would have been the village herbalist. And she would have dealt with all the issues that the women had in her village that needed medical help. They use poppy syrup, opium now, to ease pain. They use things like elecampane for coughs. They had all sorts of herbs and remedies. I wrote all about this in a book called The Book of Deborah, so this is my small advertisement. I wrote a novel about what it was like to be a woman in Jesus' time, and it's got all the herbal lore in it. It was the most wonderful thing to research, I have to say. Anyway, now I've lost my point, of course. Where was I? You don't know, because I've been racing around all over the place. Is this relatively interesting? Do you have any questions? That's it. Thank you so much for system. Right. The third level of the system is the devil, what we call the devil. Now, there is no devil in the Bible. You'll see diabolos, but it actually means temptation to do the wrong thing. The devil is the tempter. It's the one that tempts you to have that extra piece of cake. So we've all got the devil in our lives, but that's all it is. It's to tempt you to go off the path. That's what diabolos means in the Bible. But the third level of evil is when you take something from the system which is evil and you make it good. That's the Spanish Inquisition, and that's the Holocaust, which is, we know better than anyone else, and we may destroy you because it's the right thing to do. Can you see how bad that is, how serious that is? And this is what MAGA Christianity is all about, and I'm afraid to say that Donald Trump is exactly an exemplification, getting my words all wrong. Donald Trump is an example of exactly this. He is saying that he is a Christian. No, he isn't. And that all this stuff of telling other people what they can do is good. And it isn't. It is totally contrary to the teachings of Jesus. Another way of, this one is not very popular, especially in America where they're very fond of their veterans. The system means sometimes you have to go to war. Sometimes you just have to. Ukraine does not have a choice but to be at war right now, does it? But it's not an ideal thing to do. And if we ever go to war, the idea is that we should regret it and apologize for it and lament it. Somebody who goes to war and fights and has to kill on our behalf is not a hero. They're somebody who had to do a job that was important and terrible. Now, the Japanese have got this right, oddly enough. They have what they call the loyal soldier ceremony. When a soldier comes back from war, they're sat down in a circle with people sitting around them, their family and local people that they respect. They are thanked. The group goes into lamentation that they had to do this action, that they had to go out there, that it was wrong, but we're grateful. And then they formally free that soldier from being a soldier. They say, this is over. You are now a member of society. This is over. We will give you all the help you need, but you come back into society now. They do not go around saying you're a hero for killing other people's children. Can you see how subtle that is? So the level of the devil is very subtle in the world today. We have it in the medical profession, we have it in the veterinary profession, we have it in the church, which is all these people saying, I'm throwing you out of the church for your own good. This is hurting me more than it's hurting you. All these kind of things that make the other person wrong because you have to be right.